My wife and I went to the USS Lexington Museum the other day. When we first approached, we could see an anchor, a small jet, and some huge guns. We had a long walk ahead of us to get up to the aircraft carrier, but it was worth the trip. Immediately upon entering the ship, we saw several aircraft and started learning about the very long, cool history of the USS Lexington. It turns out the ship was employed longer than any other Essex-class ship in the world. It was employed for 40 years, and during that time it set several records, some of which are not likely to ever be broken. The Lexington was the first U.S. aircraft carrier to have women on board as crew members. It also holds the record for the most planes landing on an aircraft carrier. Even though the Lexington is an aircraft carrier, it didn't have a long enough flight deck for planes to take off from or land on. So to take off, the planes were catapulted from the deck of the Lexington out into the sea. It was the catapult system that allowed the planes to get enough speed to fly. The landings were equally as interesting because, like I said a moment ago, there wasn't enough room for the planes to land on the deck, so they attached metal cables to the plane while it was landing to slow it down. The metal cables would have snapped or torn the plane apart, but they had huge shock absorbers on another deck that the cables would attach to, making it easy for the cables and the planes to handle the incoming force. The USS Lexington also had a cool nickname. It was the Blue Ghost. The reason it was called the Blue Ghost is because of two things: its paint job, which was the first of its kind, and there was a Japanese radio station called the Tokyo Rogues that kept thinking that the Lexington had been sunk in battle and reporting that it was down on the air. Of course, the Lexington would show up in the next battle because it wasn't sunk in the first place, so it kept rising from the dead. This is a massive tour. We were there several hours and only got through the flight deck. It is located in Corpus Christi, Texas, and there are 5 different self-guided tours to see. If you'd like to see more of our adventures, head over to my blog at ifreakinglovetotravel.com.